Welcome back. This strategy rather was first discussed, and some of its main features were published in November 2023. And after the government approved it, it transferred to the Supreme Council for Energy, which was recently followed by the issuance of the National Green Hydrogen Strategy, meaning that every step is taken after such a very deep study. And to shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Magdy Allam, advisor to the Global Climate Program and the Environment Facility. Thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Magdy, and a very good day to you.
Good morning, and thank you also.
Sir, let's start immediately with green hydrogen. Sir, in many occasions, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said it, and said it more than once, by the way, that green hydrogen is the future. How do you see this as practically on the ground valid? And how do you see the Egyptian vision regarding green hydrogen and considering it as a first priority regarding the green economy transformation?
It's actually a national goals for Egypt to share in the transfer from the fossil fuel that already, of course, increasing the carbon load. And as far Egypt is committed also to reduce annually some amount of the carbon load, to reduce also the greenhouse gases phenomena, and in addition also that towards the climate resilience and the climate change.
Yeah, I meant to that.
Accordingly, so the government of Egypt is sharing the other countries who are actually lucky to have some energy like the new and renewable energy, especially for the solar energy. Nowadays we have, for example, in the Aswan, one of the big and the biggest actually energy resources all over the world.
Yeah.
And actually, the other resources of energy nowadays transferred from the fossil fuel, either it is gasoline or benzene or other kinds of fossil fuels, to change for the solar energy. The solar energy, actually, we are lucky in Egypt that we are one of the countries all over the world who have up to 48% of the total energy can be derived from the
sun,
solar energy.
Yeah.
So the solar energy, one of those main elements of new and renewable energy. Nowadays we are talking about the separation of the hydrogen from the water. So it's easy actually nowadays. We have up to now 4 stations we are working on in Egypt, and actually we have contracts with some of the foreign companies that already have deals with the Egyptian government to rely and also
transferring technology. The know-how is very important, yes. But sir, let me focus a little bit on green hydrogen and some of the information which were released by the government, particularly in the latest meeting of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli with a number of top executives. And when he said that Egypt is keen to, on the ground, implement this very ambitious plan and to produce green hydrogen by the year 2040. How do you see the number? I mean, by the year 2040, is it far? Is it that close? Is it going to depend on the new technologies and the know-how? What?
After establishing the Binban energy, which is one of the biggest energy, solar energy all over the world, being done in Aswan by the Egyptian government, nowadays the green hydrogen and the blue hydrogen actually among the hands of the experts of Egypt also to start. And we already have 4 contracts already done by the Egyptian government and the authority of Suez Canal to have actually a new and renewable energy relying on the green hydrogen. Nowadays is in the table of the Egyptian government to deal and to implement. The other issue also that the production being achieved may be up to 5.8 million ton annually from the green hydrogen. It's the first time for the Egyptian government to achieve such kind and amount of green hydrogen, in addition to the share in the global market of the climate resilience. We have now the climate resilience and the climate adaptation and the reduction of emissions. Actually, annually, every country nowadays is committed to reduce amount of green and actually other sources of energy depending on PV units. And the PV units nowadays is sharing with the green hydrogen. The green hydrogen is the parallel energy that will be shared with the other kinds, the traditional kinds of energy. In addition to this, we actually relying on the green hydrogen as a new technology and new energy and also new and renewable energy, so will supply electric currents. And the electric currents nowadays is being depending even on the solar and the hydrogen unit.
But this means, sir, that green hydrogen can be the source of energy to industrial complexes, for example? I mean, it can be used in such a massive way?
Yes, it can be used because it's one kind of the new and renewable energy source. We have a big list of new and renewable energy sources. Among them nowadays is the green hydrogen. The green hydrogen, maybe it is actually more being effective rather than the blue hydrogen. And this is actually maybe the shift in that kind of energy, that we have the blue hydrogen and also we have the green hydrogen. For the green hydrogen nowadays, we are relying on reduce a big amount of the carbon emissions. The carbon emissions is the
part of our climate change commitment, sir. But before leaving this point, sir, you were talking with me about green hydrogen and its applications, blue hydrogen and its applications. Are these applications taking place already on the ground now in other countries, and if yes, where?
There are actually up to 11 countries all over the world already starting to use such kind, and Egypt, one of the big companies that they have already starting the hydrogen, the green hydrogen, to be practical, and the Suez Canal Authority already signed up to 5 contracts with big companies that can deal with the using of the green hydrogen. It's already among the hands of experts of the Egyptian authorities, and nowadays the electric supply will rely more
on green hydrogen rather than solar. But since you mentioned the Suez Canal, sir,
the wind energy, for example, so
since you mentioned the Suez Canal,
energy, we have the solar energy, in addition to the traditional
fossil fuel
that we are
sources.
relying also on the fossil fuels for some sectors, because the big sectors like the steel sectors and the
heavy
that
industries
need high temperature up to 500 or 600 to have to deal with the steel industry. This actually essential. We are of course using this kind because this is specific for the high temperature, increasing the 300 degrees, which is completely different rather than the blue energy.
Sir, you mentioned in your answer the Suez Canal Authority. Would you please correct me if I'm wrong? As far as I know, that we succeeded more than once with green hydrogen refueling for some ships. Is that true?
Yes,
and if you want to elaborate on that.
5 contracts already signed between the Authority of Suez Canal and other big companies that will use on our energy of this one. And this is one of the big achievements of Egypt till now. No country all over the world can compete with Egypt in this. Egypt already has such kind of amount of new and renewable energy sources, more than the traditional system. But of course, for the traditional system will continue tells that we can already have some energy that increasing the 300 or 500 degrees, like the steel, for example. Yes, we cannot rely on the small energy, but we must rely on a big energy that needs a lot of resources of energy also. So we have actually the method mix in Egypt with the 5 kinds of energy parallel to each other. So in every, for example, we have the gas pipelines under the Mediterranean Sea that we are exporting. Egypt is exporting the new and renewable energy to the Greece and the Italian and also the other countries all over the Mediterranean Sea.
Because
we
Egypt,
are the only country all over the world that doing such kind of energy.
Because Egypt is very much ambitious to be a renewable energy hub. A renewable energy hub, not only regionally but internationally. But sir, as far as I can understand that this cannot be implemented on the ground only with the public sector, but the private sector should have a share, and maybe the lion's share too. How do you see this field as a field to be attractive for whether foreign or local or Arab investors to invade? Because if we do have incentives, for example, to attract investors to invest in this domain, this is going to be such an added value. If you want to elaborate on that too.
It's already done, and actually the company of electricity of the national government already have contracts, and you can see, and all of the people of also can see on the surfaces of the building in the 27 countries or the 27 cities all over Egypt. We already have the solar PV units and solar panels above on our houses, and nowadays up to 32% of the total energy of the 27 new cities being relying on solar energy directly from their surface tables of the PV units above their surfaces in their houses, using this energy for free. And when the money income returned to the company of electricity in Egypt, they actually have up to 35% to have actually the energy directly from the surface of the house to the other sets in the, maybe in the kitchen or other sectors in the house, already depending and using on solar PV units completely. And you can see this in the new cities already done by the Ministry of Housing in Egypt. And this is actually a big achievement all over the country, all over Africa, for example. And of course, some of the connections in our pipelines for the gas, the biogas already under the Mediterranean Sea come to the Italy and Greece and other 6 countries using our energy. In addition, of course, the shipments of the transport through the Suez Canal to have actually other new and renewable energy sources like the green hydrogen to be dominating the other countries of companies.
Yes, sir. Great. But here I want to focus more, if you permit me, on the private sector. And when we talk about the private sector investing in such a field, which is brand new for most of them at least, they are going to ask, is it going to be that profitable? And if there are others who had such an experience in that, how we can start from where they ended? Is it going to be profitable on the short run or on the long run? Do we need only mega or multinational companies to invade this field, or we can also depend on medium and maybe even small projects?
Actually, the 3 degrees will be and already started, either the small and middle and the high sectors of energy and the new and renewable energy sources. For example, that the government of Egypt finished up to 25 PV units being done in 30 villages in Aswan till now.
Yeah.
So this is take a very good actually achievement for the farmers to using their machines of the water supply and not using the fossil fuel, but depending completely on solar PV units.
Yeah.
And one of the energy already sources being done in this, that 25 actually, 250 already done by PV units in Egyptian farmers using this. And for example, they have the 20 fiddans for this area divided among 4 consumers. The 4 consumers nowadays, when you see such kind of energy, zero pollution, pollution for the first time.
The word zero pollution is very promising, and this is exactly our goal. Well, Dr. Magdy Allam, advisor to the Global Climate Program and the Environment Facility, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day and happy Ramadan. Well, right after the short break, I'm going to turn back with more, so stay tuned.